Hi, welcome back to the Radial podcast. My name's Austin. I'm joined by Devin.
Hey.
And Jeff.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
The United States 2018 Formula One Grand Prix is up.
That was a fantastic race.
Indeed.
I'm glad that it ruined my Sunday.
Wait, how did it ruin your Sunday?
I got them projects, remember?
No?
What's it like to be a responsible adult? Because the weekend rolls around and I'm like, how can I set this up so I don't have to move off the couch or leave the house? And then nothing gets done at my house and it just turns into a
yeah. See, so that's the thing,
dump.
right? Is like nothing's happening at your house, so it's just turning into a garbage dump.
Yeah.
Whereas like I don't want my house to turn into a garbage dump.
I mean, neither do I, but I also don't want to have to do anything to prevent it. If it could just not happen, that would be great.
You either have to do two things: you have to do stuff, or you have to spend money. Sometimes both.
Damn it.
I mean, it sucks, right? But
I just want to live my life.
like, I didn't want to have a decrepit vehicle in my driveway, so I fixed it.
We tried that at my house. It didn't work.
We got a different one. It works.
It does work.
It runs.
It drives.
It does.
It's got a title.
It has one of those, yes. We'll say yes.
It has one.
It has one.
But no, I fixed the Bronco today.
Congratulations. I saw that it was moved.
Yes.
I noticed that it had moved. I forgot that it was broken.
Yeah.
So
it had like a crazy
You just
oil
RTV'd
leak.
the whole intake, right?
They sell this RTV that like you can put into a caulking gun, and so I caulked the fuck out of that intake manifold.
Did you take it back off first, or you just go at it?
No, I took it back off
Okay.
first. Yeah.
raw terrain vehicle.
What?
What does RTV stand for?
Tube. Silicone.
Raw terrain vehicle.
It's a gasket maker. It's a Permatex 1 minute gasket or 5 minute gasket.
That's a pretty quick gasket.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Usually RTV, you have to let it sit for 24 hours before you can do anything. This is 5 minutes.
That seems bad.
It works really good.
No, the 24 hours. Like, why is that a thing if you can do it in 5?
Room temperature vulcanizing silicone.
So
like the planet Vulcan?
No,
whenever
vulcanizing.
you use RTV and you gotta like go to put something together, like you need some room to like some time before it cures to like
just
move
slap
it.
it on there. You gotta let it like.
I mean,
set
five
a little
minutes
bit.
is a pretty long amount of time.
Not really. Not when you compare it to like other
not
amounts of
whenever
time.
you're trying to like carry.
Have you ever thought about a whole year? That's a lot longer than 5 minutes.
You know what? You're not wrong.
I'm
but
not wrong.
Compared to like half a second, 5 minutes is a lot of time.
5 seconds is.
But no, like when you gotta carry
small
like an
amount of time.
intake manifold
Uh-huh.
like into the engine bay, and the engine sits like really far back in there,
Mm-hmm.
so you gotta like.
That'll take you 5 minutes?
Yes. So, like, you set the intake manifold on the ground, right? And then you put the RTV on it and you spread it with your fingers because you can't just, like, leave the bead there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to, like, put it on.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, like, 5 minutes. Pretty close.
I did this once. I don't remember how long
Was it
took.
in the car already?
No, it was not.
So, yeah, it took less time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asshole.
Well, you
Don't
know,
judge me.
it's been like
10 years.
10
We can't all be
years.
rich and drive brand new cars.
I
And by brand new, I mean half a decade old.
yeah. I mean, you could for $8,000. I could make that dream a reality.
That price keeps coming down.
That price has stayed pretty consistent, I think. 8,000's been what I've been saying most of the time.
I'm still going to take a hard pass on that.
Okay, I'm gonna drive it to Maryland,
That's okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
and then at that point it's sales time.
Oh. Okay.
Your laptop screen folds almost completely flat, doesn't
It
it?
sure does. It's pretty awesome. It does actually go
Wow.
completely
It's like
flat.
Baller Town. That has nothing to do with anything.
Yep.
This podcast.
We kind of got off topic
Yeah, we
talking
got
about
way off the rails.
raw TVs.
That's a room temperature
Vulcanizing.
vulcanizing silicone. Thank you.
Why is it just RTV instead of RTVS?
It's because you call it RTV silicone.
Not in this room. It hasn't.
Because
been.
room temperature vulcanizing.
I just call it RTV.
Yeah.
People know what I'm talking about.
Scientists
That's just
don't.
RTV is just an adjective.
Right.
You can't be like, I've got this adjective.
Right.
Acronym?
That's why they're not abbreviated.
Actually, it's an initialism,
it's true.
not an acronym.
It's also true. NASA is an acronym.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Scuba.
Also an acronym.
Anyway, let's get back
let's
on the
talk
rails.
about this race. Let's talk about some news first.
Yes.
RBR. Initialism.
Yes.
Acronym.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
No.
Yes.
No.
So the
Backronym.
main F1 news of the week is that Sergio Perez has signed to Force India, surprising no one.
I didn't even see this come across my newsfeed, so...
Yep.
Yeah,
he's
already
properly signed, but they didn't sign Stroll yet still, which is weird.
That's so weird.
Maybe
they're just waiting to see how he does.
Yeah,
I say sarcastically.
Yeah, he does drive into people, is how he does.
Yeah, he does do that.
And also, I saw that they are planning, I think, before the end of the season to announce what their new name for next year is going to be.
Oh, they're changing it
They're
completely?
going to change their name for next year.
Huh.
Cool.
I think.
Cool.
Which
Crash Academy Racing.
Which, I don't know, I guess I'm still not certain on how the monetary rules work out. Are they going to forfeit some prize money when they do that?
No, because they're the same team. They just change their name.
Okay.
Because teams change their name all the time.
Yeah, but slightly just with sponsorships. If they lose the Force India.
It's the same team.
Yeah. Anyway, curious to see what they are.
Racing Point.
Yeah, probably. God, that's such a lame-ass team name. It's oh, we're Racing Point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could just go with Stroll. It could just be Haas.
Mm-hmm.
Or
And
Sauber.
Williams.
Yeah.
McLaren.
It could just be that.
Yep.
Ferrari.
Oh, yeah. You forget at a certain point that Ferrari was the person's name.
Mm-hmm. Still is.
No, there's no one left named Ferrari. They banned it.
I bet that's actually a law in Italy. Is only that family is allowed to be named Ferrari.
Everyone's named Ferrari.
Yeah.
And then in other driver signing news, Stoffel Vandoorne confirmed to the HWA Formula E team, which I thought was Mercedes this year. Apparently, the Mercedes is not actually that team until the next season. For some reason. I don't know. Formula E. So Stoffel actually is going to be driving a car next year, which is good for him. And in other Formula E news, Stoffel Wehrlein has signed.
Stoffel Wehrlein.
Did I just say Stoffel Wehrlein?
Yes.
Sure did.
Pascal Wehrlein has signed to the Mahindra Formula E team.
They make tractors.
Yeah. I was going to say,
So does
do
Lamborghini.
they? Do they?
Yes.
That's what they started doing.
Yeah, I know, but do they?
Yeah, they still do.
Why?
Why not?
What do you mean? There's farmers. They need to have their fucking
Tractors.
Not
leather interior tractor.
Ew.
It's actually a thing. It gets pretty baller.
Ugh.
In the cab.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want
GPS to drive them in straight lines.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Why?
It's
Farmers feed the world, man.
no, that Lamborghini still makes tractors.
Oh.
It's probably profitable.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Tractors are more expensive than supercars. So
They probably also have a higher overhead.
Word. Also, they're owned by VW.
Mm-hmm.
So, why not make as much money as possible?
I mean, that's the slogan for business.
Yes.
Yes.
Why not make
That's
as much
my
money as
slogan.
possible? That's also my slogan. So why not make as much money as possible?
I'm doing bad at it.
Is there more on the table that you're not making?
Yes.
There's always more on the table.
Is there more possible for you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I go
There's
home and I
always
do
more
nothing
possible.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And I could just do something that pays instead. But then that gets back to my earlier point of I like to do as little as possible when I'm not working.
You're not wearing a belt.
No, I don't have to.
That's not.
My shirt is untucked. My jeans are properly fitting so that they don't sag low. So I don't need a belt.
You don't need a belt, but pants without a belt looks weird. I don't like to see jeans with no belt.
You don't see it unless I'm sitting like this.
Oh,
Where I'm
no,
all
you're not wearing a
slouched.
belt either. What is wrong with you
I'm
two?
gonna take your belt off and beat you with it.
Can we talk about Formula One? That's why we're here.
Yes, speaking of Formula One, Kentucky Fried Chicken is sponsoring Toro Rosso.
Is it like the Malaysian Kentucky Fried Chicken, though?
I think so.
Yeah, like that's...
Because, I think the way this works out is they're one of their junior drivers that they have or like reserve drivers at Toro Rosso, whose name I can't remember anymore. I think his dad owns like a bunch of KFCs in Malaysia, or is like big up in KFC Malaysia, something along those lines.
That's what you like to have on your car.
Yeah, because I think the car he drives in Formula 2 or whatever is like KFC is the main sponsor.
I've seen that car.
Yeah, it's like yellow, I think.
Doing the Colonel proud.
Yeah, so now this ugly ass logo's on this beautiful car.
It's okay, dude.
And I hope it was only for this race.
I was really hoping that there was going to be like a stylized chicken instead of the Red Bull Bull.
That'd be...
Speaking of stylized things,
it'd be really bad, but really good.
The Red Bull Racing drivers' fire suits?
Hell yeah.
Stylized. The best I've ever seen.
I felt uncomfortable just looking at them. And I remember when they had the Lederhosen racing suits in Austria, but then they didn't actually race in them. I went back and looked at the podium from Austria this year and saw that they just had their normal fire suits on. So I was like, I don't know if they're going to race them today. They sure did.
No, they were like dressied up pearl snaps with fucking rodeo belt buckles and painted on cowboy boots. Like,
hell yeah.
The shit was awesome. The only thing that was missing was Daniel Ricciardo's handlebar mustache.
He had a mustache.
Yes, but not
the one.
Like the one.
Yeah.
One of his crew members had one.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 2014 that Ricciardo was rocking the like full-on just handlebar.
Yeah.
He walked into the garage wearing a white cowboy hat before he put his helmet on.
Nice.
It's Austin.
Yeah.
It is.
You're
Austin.
Yeah. Motherfucker! His American accent is very good.
Yes.
Except for the word calendar. So
I did not
a long
notice it.
A at the end.
It's just how he said the A's didn't line up, but it was pretty good. Aaron was very confused when I was watching that. Said, "Is that Daniel Ricciardo?" And I said, "Yes."
Can't you tell? This is his regular voice.
Yes, this is his normal voice.
This is when he's not faking his Australian accent.
Yes. Any other F1 news?
They put an Australian flag on Brendan Hartley's car in the parade lap. Apparently not for the first time this year.
That happens a lot to him.
Yeah,
Yep.
I imagine that happens pretty regularly to everyone from New Zealand.
Yep. New Zealand,
Don't.
like, part
You've
of...
already...
Like, so...
We've already been called...
Australia's a continent, right? Is New Zealand part of the continent of Australia?
It's completely detached.
No, yeah, I know. So's Hawaii. And so's Japan. But Japan's part of Asia. Is New Zealand part of Australia, the
What
continent?
is Hawaii a part of?
America?
No.
Does Hawaii count as part of North America now?
I don't think it does.
Is Guam?
No, I think that's part of Asia.
What is Oceania? Is that a real continent? Do you count that as... Is it Australia and Oceania?
Is it Oceania or Oceania?
Depends on which lady you ask. Are there two N's or one in Anna?
But yeah, Brendan Hartley deeply offended.
Yes.
Much like one of our dear listeners, Shay, who you have offended.
Is he Australian or New Zealander?
He's from New Zealand.
I actually didn't know.
Yeah.
Also, do people say New Zealander? Probably not. Just Kiwi? What does that come from?
The bird.
The plants. They have lots of kiwi fruit.
Wait, no, it's the bird.
Maybe.
It's definitely the bird. Is Bruce McLaren...
He's Australian.
Wait, then why do they put the bird on there sometimes? Are you sure Bruce McLaren wasn't a Kiwi?
Japan, depending on who you ask, is not considered part of Asia.
Are you asking morons?
Japanese people.
Oh, yeah. Japanese people are very hateful towards the rest
hate
of
the
Asia.
Asian world.
Yeah. But...
Okay, so Brendan Hartley upset.
Yes, as now several people must be.
Bruce McLaren's from New Zealand.
I got
Oh
it.
shit, I got it wrong.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's fine. They're like the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Which one was
They're like
Lord
the
of the
same
Rings
thing,
on?
New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Minus like
What mountains does Australia have?
I don't know.
Bathurst, that's the one.
Wait, that's a mountain?
That's
Kind
a hill.
of. Yeah, exactly. Oklahoma has more mountains than Australia.
Wait, New Zealand's pretty green, I guess,
It
because
is
Lord
very green.
of the Rings. Is Australia green sometimes, or is it like
parts
kind
of
of a
it.
big desert mostly?
Most of Australia is uninhabited and a giant desert.
And uninhabitable.
Do dingoes live in the Australian forests?
Outback?
It's like shrubbery.
But you said it was green some places.
Yeah, like where the people live. On the southeast edge and on the very
Where
southwest
sometimes
edge.
it rains so that people can live.
Did they find like wild dingoes in the city?
Yeah.
They
Depending
got
on what city
kangaroos
you're
out
in,
there too,
presumably.
just punching people.
I'm pretty
Like,
sure you're not going to be like going to this shop in Melbourne and be like, oh, there goes a dingo.
you're walking down the fucking road and there's a tree next to the road and it's got fucking koalas in it and shit.
Fucking-
Like that's not.
I mean, you go to Florida and you see alligators like walking across the fucking golf park.
When have
You
you
drive
been to
across
Florida?
fucking bridges along the Gulf Coast and shit, and you see alligators. Like
So I don't see what your problem is with my dingo theory.
They're not just in the city.
Alligators are.
No, not really.
They live in the sewers. I saw Crocodile Dundee too.
fuck.
Right? Isn't that the plot of that movie?
I don't know.
So Formula One, some other stuff that I saw is that Red Bull will not allow Daniel Ricciardo to test the 2018 Renault.
I did not see this.
I have also not seen this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them, just from like a strategic thing, but
I don't know.
it's a business, right?
Sure.
It's a business.
But I don't think they're going to be competing with Renault.
You never know, man. Honda could be real bad.
They're not looking so bad these last few
They're
races.
not looking so good. Like
They've been
this
qualifying
weekend,
pretty well, though,
I mean,
considering.
reliability seems up, but overall pace seems not great.
Yeah,
race
but some of
pace.
that you might be able to attribute to their, like, Gasly got kind of a bum deal this weekend, but, like, Hartley is not that.
I think Pierre
Experienced
Gasly
as
is
a driver.
very good.
So do I.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm excited for Red Bull Honda.
Yeah. Researching this slightly now, apparently Ricardo's contract goes past that testing date. Like, so it's like he's still contracted for Red Bull. So
They're not going to let him
They're like,
test their next year's car, though.
oh, that wouldn't be next year's car.
I thought it's a 2019 or no. Never mind.
Yeah, it is 2018 car.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it would
like-
be cool of them to not be weird about it, but
I mean,
again, I understand.
yeah.
Like,
They also won't let Max drive in MotoGP, and he kind of wants to do that.
yeah, I think Lewis wants to do that too, and
Yeah,
they probably won't
and they're
let
like,
him do that
"Fucking
either.
no.
You're gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
motorcycles are scary. There's no halo on them.
Speaking of, saw there was some like Formula 4 crash that looked real fucking gnarly this weekend. That it's like, why do those cars not have halos on them? That's
'Cause
weird.
It's Formula 4,
Yeah. But
and there's probably no money in that series to just say, "Hey, you have to have this now."
I assumed Formula 4 was spec, but I guess I don't know.
I'm sure it is, but that's still like, I don't know anything about Formula 4.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like there's still lots of Formula series that are open wheel spec cars, but like when you start getting down the ranks like that, there's not money for people just to say
Let's add safety features.
all new chassis that all of you have to buy this year. Like they probably reuse chassis from year to year, and
Yeah, but you'd think they could just bolt one on like they did last year for the Halo in F1, like for their tests.
they had to redesign those cars, like the monocoque, to be able to support the Halo where it mounts. Like those aren't structural points on the monocoque before.
Yeah, I guess it might not have been.
It's just like a roll cage in a car. Like,
when
you
they were
can't just
testing
like put one in a car
Why not?
with like any bottom plates or any like welded to structural points in the floor, because it'll just push through if you do roll the car or something hits it. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't have it, like they should, but I understand the realities of not every motorsport series is going to be able to just have that now.
They should.
Racing's expensive.
Yes, but so are the drivers.
Unless they pay.
Let's make sure they
Unless
don't die.
they pay. Dude, I'm with it. I'm totally with it. That's not how the world works. So
That's bad. The world,
it's
bad.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Let's start it over.
But
No, thank you. Let's just end it.
I mean, the two have to come together. You can't have one without the other.
Can we talk about Formula One? We keep getting way off the rails.
Yeah, okay.
Anything from the free practices and qualifying?
Free practice 3, yes.
Free practice 1 and 2, it rained.
Yes.
A lot.
Hell yeah.
And in free practice 3, there were red flags that Vettel did not slow enough for and gets a 3-place penalty going into this race.
Ouch.
Which
Ouch indeed.
he does not need.
He sure doesn't.
Sucks to suck.
Yes.
Good on the stewards for being consistent in their calls on that this season.
Yeah.
They've been pretty consistent.
The 3 instances of it.
Yeah, there's been a lot of complaining coming out of him this weekend, but it seems pretty consistent. I saw like Ricardo got asked about it. It was like, yeah, I'm glad they gave it to him because of consistency, but I don't think we should have that penalty, which
It's
also
a red flag. It's kind of a serious...
Yeah.
Yeah, but it also sort of like does such a hard line make sense, because depending on where you're on track, how quickly you slow is not going to be really a factor.
I mean, you see the red
like
flag,
if it happened
slow down.
Right, yes, but it seems like they're running into a problem of there's a really hard line about how much you have to slow down and by when.
You see a red flag, you take your foot off the throttle and you put it on the brake.
Yes, but they want to be careful about their tires also. So like if you're not near it, having to stop like slow down that much that quickly like is kind of fucked up.
And they're not also sitting there just like looking like, is a red flag about to pop up? Like they're going, push, and all of a sudden it's like they have to completely break that mindset.
I mean, you shouldn't have tunnel vision though, right? Like you should still be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, like it seems like what the rules like certainly
like
they need to slow, but the rules now seem maybe a little harsh if like at least 3 times this year this has happened that somebody's been caught for not slowing down enough, because they have slowed down but apparently just not enough.
You would think that drivers would learn that lesson.
I mean, it wasn't the same guy every time.
I know, but like you still know that happened. Like as a driver, I hope you do. You know that they're not fucking around with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's...
I mean, you could say the same about like
not good
tickets.
for Vettel's title hopes.
It
not that
is
those
not.
really exist. Like, they shouldn't. Not at this point. Qualifying.
Also...
Max breaks his suspension at the end of Q1.
Yeah, so he gets a time set for Q1 that makes him into Q2, but then his car is broken.
That's about it.
Also, both Toro Rossos took a bunch of parts this weekend, so we'll be starting at the back of the grid.
But they both made it into Q2.
They did.
Neat.
Which then led to like a bunch of just really boring commentary of, oh, people are wondering if you're going to start at the back of the grid, should you even be able to go out there and qualify and take spots from people?
Yes.
Like, it's like, yeah, fuck you. Like,
yes.
come on. Like, if your solution is ever let's have less track or cars on track, like that's a bad idea.
Well, I don't think that they're saying the solution would be there's less cars on track.
Well, their solution would be like, oh, if you're going to start at the back of the grid, don't run in qualifying.
Oh, okay. I see.
That's important to gather data, though.
Yeah,
in a
I agree.
Qualifying setup, like in quali trim.
And also, like, if you're like, all right, you're at the back so you can run in Q1, but even if your time's good enough to make it into Q2, you're starting from the back, so you don't actually get into Q2, like, that sucks too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think where we're at now is good.
Yeah, it's fine.
Agreed.
And commentators just needing something to talked about that for like 5 minutes, and it was annoying.
I hate Martin Brundle.
Yeah.
Like,
I like him better than David Hobbs. David Hobbs didn't know where he was most of the time.
He's old. Martin Brundle's old too, though.
He at least seems to retain some of his mental faculties.
I wonder what
Spatial
David
awareness.
Hobbs is up to.
Commentating the race at home.
It's
probably what he's
sitting
up
in a like lazy boy just in front of a fireplace.
And his family comes in there like, you're not on air right now, David.
Grandpa, please.
It's probably his daughter. She calls him David.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know. I don't know what David Hobbs' family life is like.
Anyway, aside from that, qualifying, nothing like too spectacular. Lewis gets pole. Vettel gets very close to his time.
Kimi also almost had pole there until Vettel and Lewis's final runs.
Yeah.
Like Kimi's final run, like had him on provisional pole for a little bit.
Yep. But he ended up nearly 700ths off, and Vettel was some thousandths off.
6,000,
Yeah, Ferrari's got their pace back this weekend.
Yeah, Ferrari looking pretty good, but Vettel bumped back down to like 5th because of his penalty.
Yep.
Which was nice because it promoted Ricciardo. So if Vettel had got pole, that would have been unfortunate for Ricciardo. So I was glad that Vettel did not get pole. Also making it into Q3 again was Charles Leclerc, and Grosjean made it into Q3.
for the 10th race in a row.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a fun statistic. But also I think this is Haas's best qualifying at COTA in America. So that was nice.
In their home Grand Prix. It's weird, like when they say that, like, yeah, I could get it, but you remember when Daniel Kvyat, like when they were like, oh, the Russian Grand Prix is like his home Grand Prix. He's like, I don't lived on the other side of Russia.
Yeah.
Haas is based in like North Carolina.
Yep.
Like it's not.
Yeah, I forget which media team it was, but they're like, technically Canada would be like closer to the Haas HQ than this race.
Yep.
Damn, America, you be big. You guys ready to talk about the race?
Yes.
Max decided to Max's gearbox got replaced last night, so he incurs an additional penalty, starting him from P18 instead of P15.
During the grid walk time frame, like when they're out on the grid, Red Bull adding oil and taking oil samples from their cars.
Yeah, Christian Horner said that they had overfilled them with oil, and so they were pulling some out while they were on the grid.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the gearbox change for Max was not necessary per se this weekend, but they would probably, since he was already starting down low.
You're like, well, we're this far back. Like,
It's
well,
Max.
let's-
Just let him.
Like,
it's fine.
Yeah, let's take this penalty because they have been pretty strong in Mexico generally. So I think they took this penalty here to avoid maybe having to take it next weekend.
Yeah. So you guys ready?
Yep.
ready.
Lights go out.
It had beeps.
It did have beeps, but the lights go out. Kimi Räikkönen makes a great start from second.
He does. Hamilton tried to cut him off.
Hamilton got a little bit of wheel spin there off the start. Hamilton dives over to the inside to try to cut him off, but just didn't quite have the pace to get over there.
Yeah, with P2 being on the inside of the corner, Kimi was able to kind of just hold his line. And
so up around. At turn one, Kimi Räikkönen takes P1 away from Lewis Hamilton.
Yep.
That first corner seems like a total shit show.
Yep.
Like behind.
Did anybody actually get hit there?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody
Like
got
a lot
hit
of people
quite there.
went off track, but I don't think anyone actually got hit.
a lot of people went off.
Yeah, I don't think anything really
Lance
started
Stroll
until...
ended up off track and then re-entered dangerously, kind of like Verstappen did in Japan, and just drove into the side of Fernando Alonso.
Oh, I didn't realize he was... I thought that he'd already recovered. I thought that was like turn 4 was when that happened.
Yeah, that was a little bit down the road, but that was everybody coming into that turn 1, 2, 3, 4 through the S's. Like,
yeah,
it was just a shit show. Like Carlos Sainz through turn 1 was like way out in the way outside of turn 1. Yeah, that whole first lap kind of seemed like a mad dash.
it did.
Fernando Alonso radio transmission after he got hit by Lance Stroll. Can't fucking race with these guys. Like, they just...
Yeah, I mean,
they're
Lance just
incapable
speared
of
him.
not running into each other.
Like, just tore open a huge hole in the side of Alonso's car.
Yep.
And apparently didn't damage Stroll's that much.
Yeah, weird. Like, it didn't even break his wing. It didn't look like... I think his front wheel is what hit the side.
The Williams is, if nothing else, a tank.
Also, Grosjean had contact with Leclerc.
Yeah, Grosjean drove
I don't think we ever got like a really good shot of what happened there, like how Leclerc spun. Like the one shot I remember them cutting to was like Leclerc had already spun and then Grosjean like drove over his front wing.
I thought Leclerc got bumped in his rear left by Grosjean, and then that sent him around, and then Grosjean then hit his front too.
Okay, yeah, because I know Grosjean did cause him to spin, but I didn't remember actually seeing him cause it.
Yeah, and then Grosjean kind of ran over his own wing too.
Yep. And then both of them eventually retire because of this, I think, right?
Yes.
Grosjean retires immediately, Alonso retires immediately, and Leclerc goes back out.
Yeah, and
Leclerc goes back out for a while.
Half the race and then retires,
I think it was turn 15 where Daniel Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel are kind of going at it.
Yeah, Vettel's trying to get around Ricciardo.
Vettel is trying to get around Ricciardo, keeping it pretty clean, not touching. And then their front axles kind of touch.
Yeah, Ricciardo was on the outside of the corner, and Vettel was on the inside, and Vettel seemed like he just couldn't make the turn.
Yeah,
with the speed that he had, and he kind of just
he was
sort
going
of
a little too
drifted
deep,
into,
and Ricciardo had he had to turn in eventually, right? Like he's already past the corner.
Yes.
So he goes to turn in, they touch.
Doesn't really impact Ricciardo's race aside from being
Vettel
off track slightly.
just swings around, spins out.
Burns
and
up his
I'm
tires.
standing up, screaming in my living room at this point. It's like,
yeah, at this point, I'm like, well, it's done.
Yeah, I was like, well, there you go, Vettel. What the fuck? All right.
So after lap 1, you get the message at the top where the stewards are just like, lap 1 incidents under investigation. Like, it doesn't even name them off because there's so many of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
After that spin, Vettel's down to 13th. Verstappen had a fucking awesome first lap, 18th to 9th.
Yeah. Like,
there goes my fantasy GP fucking predictions.
Yeah. Bonus question today: what is the most places somebody will make up? I think we all said 4 to 7. Right?
Yeah, I didn't expect Verstappen to start from the back.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max doing what he does, just cutting
through the field.
Yeah. I mean, he was helped here a little bit by, 5 cars in front of him having incidents.
He was saying at the beginning of the race, starting from the back, he was like, I think the best that we can hope for is 6th. I hope that we get a safety car that bunches everybody back up again. Yeah. Lap 3, Kimi Räikkönen on the ultra softs, just trying to clear the rest of the field. He's 2.1 seconds ahead of Hamilton.
Yeah, here's one more thing to note from qualifying is that everybody in Q2, like Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Ricciardo, all 5 of them, four of them, set their times on super softs, and Kimi set his time on ultra softs. So Kimi is on the fastest tire at the start of this race, while everybody else is on super softs.
And Hamilton has an extra lap on his super softs.
Yeah, because he did 2 laps on his for some reason.
Also, lap 3, Vettel is starting to recover from 13th to 11th.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he seemed like he didn't really get any damage. Like, I'm kind of surprised he even spun as badly as he did.
I'm surprised that, like, what race was it? Monza, when he spun and just, like, lit up his tires and, like, had to swap him out, like, the next lap.
Yeah.
And this time, like, same sort of thing, it seemed like. Or no, maybe it wasn't Monza, it was China. And this time he seemed to be totally fine. Like, his tires still had some life left in them.
Yeah.
Lap 5, Lance Stroll's handed a drive-through penalty for running into Alonso.
After he's already pitted to replace his wing, now he's got to drive through again.
Yeah.
Yep.
In lap 6, Vettel's up to 9th, overtaking Sergio Perez at turn 1. Lap 8, Hamilton gets on the radio and he says he's struggling to keep up with Kimi. He's just running in that dirty air. So, drops back a little bit. Lap 9, race control says no further action with Ricciardo and Vettel, which that just seemed like a racing incident.
Yeah, I agree
for
with that.
sure. And then pretty shortly after that, cut to Ricciardo pulled off on the side of the track.
Also, lap 9, Daniel Ricciardo pulls off. What's that back corner? Turn
I don't know.
9, I think, the hairpin at the back of the straight.
Maybe.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, it pulls off.
Yeah.
Retires.
Yeah.
Gutted.
Yep. Apparently so much so that he went back to his room and punched a hole in the wall.
It's one thing after another for that fucking
Yeah,
thing. Like,
he's been having some fucking terrible luck.
Yeah. But because of Daniel Ricciardo's retirement, Max Verstappen's promoted to 4th by lap 10 from 18th. Pretty fucking good.
It is really good.
And
And a VSC
then
comes out.
VSC comes out.
One more note on Ricciardo. Some good commentary from Christian Horner after the race. Quote, hopefully we got enough components in our pool for him to not have to take a penalty for Mexico. It's like, I'm sure he'll be having a word with his future employers about it because it's just so frustrating to keep losing him from races at the moment. It's like Christian Horner.
What his last retirement? A gearbox?
Clutch.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I mean, Christian Horner will do anything to shit on Renault.
yes, and I kind of enjoy it.
I don't really
I
approve.
hope Honda works out for him. You know, I just
Yeah.
think it's a really shitty way to behave.
I don't really approve of him mentioning that Ricciardo knocked a hole in a wall. Like, it's not like him screaming in his helmet like that was public. Whereas the knocking a hole in his wall, like, that's totally away from all the media. So, like, that seems kind of shitty. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I find that Red Bull's leadership, I find it entertaining the way that they come out and talk shit like about things, but at the same time it's like very, like, you wouldn't ever see Ferrari or Mercedes do that.
I mean,
Like,
they don't have a partner in that same way.
Yeah.
I know, but like it. McLaren kept it together for a pretty long time. Like, they just kept throwing on the, like, we're gonna get better. And towards the end, it was kind of shitty, right? But Christian Horner has been overly critical of Renault basically since this era has started. The V6 hybrid era has started.
Well, I mean, is that so undeserved to be like, you guys had this, like, dominant engine and now you can't put something together?
I mean, behind closed doors,
Like,
like
if when the 2021 engine comes out or whatever, 2020, whatever year it changes,
Yeah.
and like Mercedes is dog shit, like,
Yeah,
that would be weird.
Yeah,
I don't think it'd be that weird though, because it's a different.
I think it would be even weirder if in that scenario, because it's basically the same engine with a few simplifications.
Yeah, I mean,
like V8 to V6, like, you've got some that you're like, okay, it's a turbo, it's a different number of cylinders, it's a whole bunch of stuff.
None of your
But, like,
previous engineering means anything. Like, you're starting from scratch,
Right.
so like, I can understand why you would go from being this dominant car to
I disagree, because I feel like if you have the ability to build a dominant engine in one thing, like you should at least be able to build a competent engine somewhere else, even if it isn't initially.
But I don't know even if
dominant.
I would say like that Renault V8 was dominant. Also, like you guys have pointed out, the chassis was a lot of why that car was good.
Yes.
But as you guys have pointed out too, in that era, like Red Bull Racing and Renault only raced, like a Renault Works team raced one season together, and then it was just Renault didn't have a Works team.
Yeah.
Red Bull was the Works team.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's some differences there.
But I mean, even in this era, there wasn't a Renault Works team until like 2 years ago. So like the
Lotus was technically like a Works team.
They were Mercedes for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
So like Lotus, I think only ran Renault 1 year.
I think Renault owns Lotus.
Maybe, but Lotus was running Mercedes engines until 2016, I want to say.
Lap 12 during the VSC, Lewis Hamilton pits and rejoins ahead of Verstappen in third place.
Yeah, he was told to do the opposite of what Kimi did.
You see the juke?
Yeah,
by
Kimi like faked going into the pits and then stayed out, which was interesting. But I guess like his team probably like told him like, hey, Hamilton's going to do the opposite of you, so stay out, but fake going in.
Yeah. And then lap 13, Bottas told over the radio, Hamilton is 3.7 seconds behind. Do not hold him up.
Yep. VSC over at this point. I was surprised to see Lewis catch back up to Bottas this quickly.
Yeah, whenever this first happened, it was like, what the fuck is Ferrari doing?
Yeah. Because I was like...
Because they're like, oh, he's going to go for a two-stop, and we're like...
in my mind, I'm like, they don't want Kimi to win this race. They want him to hold Hamilton up.
Well, yes, I think that statement is not wrong.
Yeah, but it's just like, at this point, the softs, I thought Hamilton would be able to finish the whole race on these softs.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to lose the whole race too.
Like, pretty quickly, Lewis has closed within, like, to where Kimi is going to come out far behind Lewis when he pits. Mm-hmm. So it's just like...
Yeah, by lap 16, the gap's down to 3.2 seconds.
Yeah, so it's like... And the pit stop delta is around 18 here?
18 to 20, yeah.
So it's just like, oh, okay. Ferrari really fucked up by not putting him there.
Lap 18, Bottas is closing 0.8 seconds a lap to Kimi. So, yeah, at lap 18 is where it started to really fall off.
Yeah.
Lap 19, Lewis has been chasing Kimi and just can't get it done. He'll get close, right? But he just can't close that gap. He can't quite get by.
Yeah.
But Raikkonen's lap times are continuing to fall, and he comes over the radio and says, I just can't keep him behind anymore.
Yeah, but he did a really good job of defending here. It was really exciting to watch and didn't let Lewis pass.
He made that Ferrari wide.
Yep.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by that.
And yeah, also while the two of them are fighting, Bottas and Verstappen are both just gaining on those two. Since they're just slowing each other up. Well, Raikkonen's just slow because of his tires. Mm-hmm. And then that's making Hamilton slow as well behind him.
Lap 21, Kimi dove into the pits for softs.
Yeah, like at this point, it seemed like Lewis was probably going to pass him when they got to the straight, and Lewis had DRS, and then Ferrari just ducks into the pits.
And then lap 22, after he pits, he rejoins fifth place, 6.5 seconds behind Vettel.
Yep. Although Vettel, I don't think has stopped at this point.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Also, lap 22, Verstappen pits for a set of super softs.
Yeah, Devin and I were both surprised by this because he started on the softs and to pit on lap 22. We're like, well, that seems early. Turns out it was the undercut on Bottas, and it worked.
And the undercut, it works. Bottas on lap 24 after he had pitted rejoins behind Verstappen.
Just barely.
Yep. That Bottas, man, just not getting it done.
Yeah, I mean,
like
it's kind of hard to blame him because at this point he's like,
I'm sure his mental game is
he's just like
ruined.
I can't win this race. Like if I'm in first, like they would have me handed over to Hamilton. So like why really even try that hard?
Yep. Also on lap 24, Raikkonen is fucking booking it.
Yep.
And he is right behind Seb. And on lap 25 at turn 1, Vettel's told, like, hey, let him by. And Kimi also was like, hey, are we going to let me go by him? So, yeah, on lap 25 at turn 1, Vettel lets Kimi go by. And then the gap between Hamilton and Raikkonen is 17.1 seconds. It's a pretty big gap.
Yep.
Lap 26, Vettel reports that his rear tires are done.
It's weird. It's like he did a burnout in them.
Yeah. I'm surprised he got to lap 26.
Yeah. And at this point, Jeff and I were wondering, it's like, all right, like at this point, he could probably switch, like, it's like,
can they push him long enough on the supers to let him out on the ultras?
Yeah, because it's like, I think... no, I was thinking of Kevin. I think Kevin Magnussen started on super softs and lasted like 30 some odd laps.
He did.
But yeah, I was like, if he just like waits long enough, it's like, could Vettel go on to ultras here? But they put him on softs.
Which again, Devin and I were like, wow, why would you do that?
Yeah, because it's like, why would you stay out this late and then use the hardest tire? Like, it just seemed odd.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of the bad thing about the like Q2 strategy they've chosen is if you're starting on the medium, like of the 3 tires, the middle of the 3 tires, it's like unless you make that last a long time, you can't go onto the softer ones. So you have to finish on the harder. So I guess maybe they didn't even have any ultra softs left.
I don't see how they couldn't.
But
They had two practice sessions of just using inners and wets.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, they end up going on to the soft tires.
That was one of the complaints of one of the other teams too. Like during qualifying, they were like, "Yeah, we're just out of tires." We're like, well, where did you use them then?
Yeah.
Also on that same lap, 26, Verstappen makes that move on Vettel.
Yeah.
Vettel just kind of lets it happen, right? Because it's like we talked about before, like different strategies.
Yeah, it's like Verstappen's on the softer tire, and also Vettel probably in no rush to crash into somebody else again.
Lap 32, like we talked about, Leclerc retires from the race after he was hit by Grosjean on the opening lap. So, yeah, about halfway, a little over halfway through the race, he retires that car.
Mm-hmm.
Lap 33, the gap to Hamilton and Raikkonen is 13.8.
Yeah, so at this point, I'm starting, like, Hamilton's tires are starting to show some wear, and I'm like, oh, was Ferrari right? Is Hamilton actually going to need to two-stop this? And if he is, he's, like, 4 seconds behind Raikkonen at this point.
Lap 37, Hamilton pits for fresh soft tires,
which was also surprising.
Yeah, this actually more so than
they
Vettel.
Didn't have any super softs.
How?
But did they have any ultras?
How?
I guess
lap
not.
37, so you still have 20 laps to go
and
on the ultras, and the ultras will fall off at 18 to 20.
I mean, how long did Kimi go on his?
18.
Okay.
A lot less fuel is a good point, but still, like, that's a gamble. And I would imagine that the Mercedes is not as kind to tires as the Ferrari is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he rejoins in 4th place behind his teammate. And then Raikkonen is 2.5 seconds clear of Verstappen, and Bottas is 6.5 seconds behind the Red Bull, and Lewis is 2.9 seconds behind Bottas.
Yep.
So it's still, like, reasonably close in the top 4.
Mm-hmm. And then P6 is like a whole minute behind Vettel.
Yeah. Yeah, the gap to the best of the rest is not good. Also, the gap between whoever's in second to last place and Lance Stroll is even
another
worse.
Minute, yeah.
Like, Lance Stroll somehow more than a minute behind whoever his closest competitor was this race. It's like, oh my God, man.
Just retire the car.
just retire, period.
Yeah, also that. Lap 39, Hamilton is told that there's 19 laps to go, and they need everything that he has.
I found this funny because not just they need everything, we just need everything.
We just need everything, yeah. He still has to get by Bottas and Verstappen to get to second.
Bottas is a freebie, so it's really just Verstappen.
Lap 40, Bottas is told to let Hamilton by at turn 12.
Yeah. And he slowed up like kind of significantly to make this happen, but no point really in like making Hamilton work to get past him. Instead
you
of
don't
just
want him
letting
to be in
him
that
by.
dirty air.
Yeah.
So lap 41, Raikkonen told that Hamilton will catch him in the last 3 laps of the race.
Well, they said he will catch you, and it was speculative.
It's implied.
Yeah, because it seemed like Verstappen would catch him sooner than that.
Yeah.
Turns out they all caught each other at the same time, basically.
Yeah, at that time, Hamilton is 5.5 seconds behind Verstappen.
Yep.
Lap 43, the gaps just keep shrinking.
Yeah, so like Verstappen and Hamilton are both catching up to Raikkonen, and also Vettel is really catching up to Bottas.
Yeah, it looks like the battle for 4th is going to be on towards the end of the race, too. At lap 44, we're at 2.5 seconds between Raikkonen and Verstappen, and 2.8 between Verstappen and Hamilton. So it's starting to heat up, and I have moved to the edge of my seat.
Yep. And a little bit later, Vettel gets into DRS range on Bottas. Like, I think the next lap.
Lap 46. He gets within DRS range of Bottas. Lap 47, Hamilton comes over the radio and he just says, hey, we're on the wrong tire.
Yep.
And Verstappen had even said, I can't remember when, like, the softs kind of suck, like, for that track.
Yeah, he did really, like, Max's strategy was, like, really odd because he pitted pretty early to cover off Bottas. And he started on soft, so he did a pretty short stint on his soft tires and then a very long one on the super softs.
And that's weird.
Yes.
Lap 54, they had just been playing this game of cat and mouse where, like, they just keep closing the margins but falling back. Because that dirty air seems like it's real tough.
They were all able, like, through sector 1, they all got to, like, within DRS range, and then by the time it got to, like, the checkpoint for it, like, they both fallen back to, like, 0.2 off of DRS activation. They just kind of been bouncing around that, right on that threshold of being able to get DRS or not.
Another thing that we didn't note is Pirelli just decided that all the tires were going up a PSI and a half.
In the rear.
In the rears prior to the race. They had no data on this. They can't change their aero at that point, so the cars are going to have a tendency to slide around a little bit more. But yeah, lap 54, Verstappen runs wide at turn 12, and it looks like Hamilton's going to have his shot here to get it done. But then Hamilton runs really wide at turn 17.
Yeah, so yeah, this was like just really good, close battling for, 5 turns?
They were not close. I don't think Lewis Hamilton's that stupid to get that close to
They
him.
were pretty close.
There was a lot of side-by-side.
There were a lot of side-by-side, but not in like the...
It wasn't like it dangerous in any way.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't in like they might touch. Like it,
no, yeah, it was just like
it was. They
good
were
side-by-side racing.
Good side-by-side racing, but like... Hamilton probably knows too, like, if I DNF, then I'm put myself in an even worse position. And it's
even
Max
worse
Verstappen.
position. You mean in a slightly losable
well, in
position?
a slightly more losable, it's still not going to fucking happen position.
Yeah.
He would rather have a podium than a DNF.
So did you see yesterday after qualifying? Sky was showing something, and I forget which commentator was riding around with Lewis in the AMG GT.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, "All right, Lewis, so you're coming up to turn 1, and Verstappen's on the left. You go inside or you go outside?" He's like, "It's Max. I go outside. Like, I'm not going near that." So yes, Lewis giving him some berth.
Yeah, I am standing in my living room at this point. Like,
I don't get that excited about.
I was stoked. Like,
I was stoked also about laying down.
I was also laying down.
no, like you guys didn't even sit up. Like you were just,
No.
like this is cool. Like,
What is standing up going to do?
I don't know. Like you just get excited.
I don't stand up when
It's like
excited.
a sports game.
No, I don't
sports ball
stand
game.
up when watching sports.
I do when I watch basketball.
I don't.
I get excited.
I'll stand up at the game, but I'm not at the game.
I'll stand up, but only because of like social pressure to do so.
And people in front of me are standing up, and now I have to stand up, and I'm going to ruin the game for someone behind me
Yes.
because I'm tall.
And the person behind them because you're tall.
Yeah. I just feel bad.
You
I
should.
go to concerts,
Hey, you remember that time we
and
went?
I go and like get like pretty good seats like on the floor in the front, and then I'm like, sorry everyone behind me, I'm gonna stand up
You
now.
remember that time that we went to Coda to watch the race?
And it rained.
No, that did happen. I think it was the year after that.
2016.
Yes.
Where like we were sitting up at turn 1 in the grass, and those people came up in front of us and plopped down their fucking chairs that had like the top on them. Do you know what I'm talking
I
about?
don't remember a top being on it, but I remember people sitting down like right in front of us, and we were just
Yep.
sitting on the
People
grass.
are assholes.
Yeah.
People are assholes.
Did you guys see fucking turn 1?
No.
Like in the grass, like during
Was
the
it-
race, it was fucking packed.
Well, yeah,
like,
it always is.
No, like I've never seen before. Like there was a fucking ton of people there.
That's the power of Bruno Mars.
Was
And
he
Britney
there?
Spears.
Oh yeah. If we go to that again, I just want proper grandstands.
Yeah.
They're way more expensive, but
wouldn't
They're
say
actually not way
more.
more expensive.
Depending on what turn you get. Like,
Yeah.
Turn 1 might be pretty expensive.
that's the one I'd want. That or
Or like Danny and Drew. had
they were over
seats.
at turn 12, I think. I also saw down there at the hairpin. That's turn 12. Yeah,
Sure.
at the before the back straight.
Uh-huh.
Like general admission could get in back there before. Like you couldn't get back there before, and general admission was able to get in back there.
Huh.
Like there were lots of people on the hill back behind that corner.
It seems like a boring place to be because you
It
can
seems
see
like a lot of passes would happen there.
Sure, but I don't think there's like that many TV boards or anything else. So, like, sure, you might be able to see a couple good passes, but you have no idea what's going on for the rest of the track.
That's probably fair. Anyway, yeah, lap 54, Hamilton doesn't get it done.
Max
so
also doesn't get it done.
Max maintained second place.
Right, but he was within DRS range of Kimi at one point and also did not get it done.
Yeah, but the battle with Lewis really slowed him down.
The battle with Lewis was...
Yeah, it seemed like they were both had opportunities at the same time, and they both fell back like the same distance. Like everybody just ended up 2.5 seconds behind each other after they kind of concluded at that lap.
That's not quite the end, because the battle between Bottas and Vettel is still happening.
Yep.
Vettel manages to get by Bottas at turn 12.
Yep.
So he's up to fourth. So even if Lewis had gotten to second, he wouldn't have been able to close out the World Drivers' Championship.
Yep. So it's not over.
Lap 56, Kimi Räikkönen wins the 2018 U.S. Grand Prix.
And he says about fucking time.
He does say about fucking time. So his first race win since Australia 2013.
Yep. With Lotus.
He did not celebrate in the fashion that I thought that he would.
He celebrated exactly how I
Yeah,
thought he would
it
by
went-
drinking.
I thought that he would be a little bit more, not like animated, like to the extreme, right? But like, I thought that he would at least have like.
Have you ever seen the man?
I know, but
I feel like this was exactly
that's
what I
such
expected.
a long dry spell for not winning, and so many second and third places.
I think it's the record longest dry
It
spell.
is
Yes,
the
it
record
is.
longest.
Like you would think that he would be. I mean, just a little bit more animated than what he was.
I
Nah,
mean, he drank
he
that
did-
booze.
He did not behave any differently than he would have had he finished second.
Yeah.
No, I think had he finished second, he probably said, "Well, it wasn't not as good as it could be," and he didn't say that this time.
Yeah.
He was like, "Wow."
He said I'm pretty excited.
He did say that,
And then-
I've not heard him say that before.
Yeah, and then he said there's probably some fans that are even more excited than him.
and that's true.
I was really excited. Like when he took P1 at the start of that race, I was like, God, I kind of really do hope that Kimi wins this race. I hope Hamilton gets P2 and Vettel stays down there, but like I hope Kimi wins this race.
Yeah, until they started saying it a lot, I hadn't really realized that Kimi hadn't won since he rejoined Ferrari. Because this is like, you would just like assume that he had, but it's like, nope.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's
like, I think Alonso maybe won one or two while he was
won
with
a few
Kimi.
times. Oh yeah.
And then I guess, yeah, it's just Alonso and Vettel that have won for Ferrari in this era until today. But it's like, as Ferrari's probably second most wins in this era. I don't know. Ferrari and Red Bull actually probably pretty close.
It's probably pretty close between the two of them.
Yeah, but
I think Ferrari would edge them out just by a little bit. But yeah.
But still, yeah, I like just assumed that Kimi had won some races with Ferrari.
How about Max Verstappen though?
Hell yeah,
P18 to P2.
That's very good.
That's
Making those super softs last
Yeah.
a long time.
very
wore a
good.
hole through his racing boot.
He did.
Yep.
Yeah, that was really good.
On the podium, Kimi immediately drinks the champagne instead of spraying anyone with it.
Yep.
It's good.
Yep.
Also, the Finnish national anthem. Haven't heard that in about a year.
This
Yeah,
is
the last time Bottas won.
Yeah, which I think was last year.
This is the first time since 2013 that either the German or Austrian national anthem hasn't played on the podium, I think.
Yeah,
Because
I guess
it was always it's Mercedes or Vettel.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yes.
Or Red Bull.
Oh yeah, they play Austrian too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to see Kimi win. I think he moved ahead of Bottas.
He
in
did.
the
He did.
driver's
They're very
standings.
close.
They're 2 points separated now.
Yeah, so if Hamilton starts slacking off after it's done, like maybe Ferrari could still pull this off. Like Mercedes can't even finish the constructors in Mexico.
Yeah, I don't. So,
Like, I expect Mercedes to win,
We were
but
talking
it's
about this
possible that
prior to us starting to record or not. But every year that Lewis clinches the title before the end of the season, he doesn't win another race. His teammate wins them.
yep.
So I think with the Constructors' Championship still being on the line, I don't think that he would slack off as much. Like, I'm sure that they would tell him, hey, dickhead, the money part still matters.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, it doesn't matter to him if Bottas is winning instead of he is.
Well, he still needs to get P2 as much as he can.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the team still needs to secure the Constructors' Championship.
For sure.
Fantasy GP's moving really slow.
Has it been updated?
Oh, shit.
What's that?
I dropped down a place. Daniel moved up 2 spots.
How'd I do?
Also,
You didn't move.
Fuck.
on the speaking of championships and Lewis's, since it didn't end here, Lewis just needs to finish 7th or better in Mexico for it to be over.
Yeah, I mean, it's over. Like,
It's what if Lewis DNFs 3 times and Vettel wins all 3 races?
Not going to happen.
It could.
Like,
It could.
just like I'm not saying that it is.
And
not
now I hope it
possible.
does, Mister. It's over.
In what world does this actually happen?
In the world where he's got Renault power, would he DNF 3 races in a row?
It depends. Is it like a team that uses it and not the way that the manufacturer recommends, or is it the team proper?
I mean, if it was last year, it'd be the team proper. Also,
Yeah, Fantasy GP update. Devin, you're still in 6th. Jeff, you're still in 7th.
Yep.
I'm down to 4th. Zachary Carroll down to 3rd. But the Superfan up to 2nd. Did a pretty good job. I think that he might have a chance to take Adam. I hope he does, because technically he counts as our team.
yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, he is our super fan. Yeah. I don't want to talk about Fantasy GP anymore. I'm not winning. It's a problem. I changed my team and it did me bad.
My change was good for me.
Yeah. I didn't change mine. I haven't changed mine in a long time, and I'm not gonna, because mine's fine.
Predictions got fucked up because of Max's gearbox change.
Yeah, that also fucked me up. If I'd known Max was
him right on the podium though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my podium almost with him and Lewis, but
I didn't expect that to happen at the start of that race either. Like, he's starting for P18. Nah, he's not getting a second. Like,
yeah, no way. But then he did.
Yeah, then he did it.
That's Max Verstappen.
That was a really good race.
It really was.
How would you rate that as far as the season goes?
I have a bad memory, so let's say the third best. There were some really good ones toward the beginning.
I think it's probably fair. I've seen some other commentary elsewhere of like, finally an exciting race. Like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this has been the best season I can remember.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe the last couple have not been that
like
great.
We've had a couple instances where like 3 in a row have been kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
But like this season,
has been all really, really good,
amazing. Like, it's like Liberty Media is doing a good job.
That doesn't.
We're just going to attribute it to them.
That's not how this works.
Yeah, sure it is. That's how it works, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think they're doing fantastic.
Yeah, I think they're doing fine also, but that doesn't make for...
No, they're making the races good. It's like wrestling now. It's like pro wrestling. Like, none of this is actually real.
Oh, I thought you were trying to say it's not good.
No, like, pro wrestling's good.
No.
In like a like in the way that you don't want it to be, right? Like, it's...
Yeah, wrestling is like I don't want.
Like, it's good.
No.
But like in a bad way. Right, Jeff, where can they find us on all the social medias?
Wait, there's more.
Oh.
We're racing again next weekend.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, Mexico's just next weekend.
It is next weekend.
At 1 o'clock for both the qualifying and the race.
Oh, nice. It's not
neat.
late in the afternoon again.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
I don't know. That was weird.
Probably. Did they have the concerts last night or those tonight?
Yeah, I bet they did. I bet they made qualifying late so that the concerts would be right after qualifying.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Why do they care? I mean, the people already paid their money.
I don't know, man. Circuit of the Americas is weird.
I mean,
I feel like all tracks are probably weird.
Yeah. They're like people who are like, no, you can't go out this exit. You can't exit out of this exit.
I have a feeling that all of them have weird rules like that.
Like, you can't exit out of this exit.
That's
so
just
you don't
your
have to walk
anecdotal
3 miles to your
experience.
car instead of a half mile.
Yeah, that sucked. I don't know. My time at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve was not as weird as any of the times I've been at COTA.
It's also a street circuit, though, right?
Yep.
So
it's weird in its own
I
way.
walked across a big bridge to get home.
Neat.
Because I was like, the train's going to be busy.
Neat.
And the wind was so much on that big bridge that I had to hold my hat down. And that was fun.
Holding your hat down was fun?
Yeah, because
You
it
have
was
weird ideas of fun.
like not the holding the hat, but just the high, heavy winds.
I think being in a strange place that you've never been before and experiencing Formula One would be fun.
Oh yeah, it was Formula Fun.
Fuck. Jeff, where can they find us on all the social media?
But wait, there's more.
God damn it.
Super GT was back this weekend.
Oh.
I haven't watched the race yet, but I'll talk about it either. Maybe not next time either, since we have Mexico to talk about, but
Probably the week after?
probably the week after that. So you got a good 2 weeks to watch round 7 of the Super GT Championship. It's at Autopolis, which, as I've remarked before, I really like the name of that track. Also, it's in the Oita prefecture.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
You knew what was on my mind.
I did. Now then, Jeffrey.
Jeff, the social medias.
What's social media?
All of them.
No, what is social media?
Oh, it's a thing where strangers go to interact with us.
Yeah,
Why would I want to do that?
It's like you go on the internet and then hate yourself.
Yes.
Social media.
Well, I mean, I don't need the internet to do that. But
No,
You
but
get
it
on the internet
helps.
to socialize. Like, it's...
I don't like socializing.
I don't either.
Can I start phoning in?
No.
I mean,
We're not. That is only out of necessity.
At Radial Podcast. After doing a little bit of research here, I've determined it is at Radial Podcast.
Oh, okay, cool. And that's like Facebook and Twitter.
Primarily Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
Just the pictures with them.
The pictures that someone else took that I used.
nice. I like to appropriate other people's intellectual property.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's,
I am not a
I
clever
live that life.
or creative person, so I rely on other people's creativity to further my own agenda.
I approve. Approved. We just brought it to a vote live on this podcast. Hey, Devin.
Hey.
Where can they find us on the internet?
HatsuneMiku.racing.
.racing is like a real website. Like you can actually type in HatsuneMiku.racing and it will take you to our website.
Don't add .com to the end of that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm dead serious.
Like I would be curious how many hits come through that URL.
I'm going to go ahead and say 0.
Except for like me when I show that to strangers.
That's the only one I go to. Anytime I want to go to the website, it's
Our
HatsuneMiku.racing
website sucks.
or shop.hatsunemiku.racing.
Shop.hatsunemmiku.racing is pretty good.
Store.hatsunemiku.racing.
Did we figure out how to make it a slash though?
I figured out that I'm not going to do it.
Oh, okay. Radialpodcast.com is also like a way.
Yeah, that one's fine, but it's not as fun.
It's not fun, but like shop.radialpodcast.com will fund the fun.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, we are now the Ouya. And we need to fund the fun.
If you go to our website, it will suggest that you subscribe to us on iTunes.
That'd be a good idea if
And
you
you
got an
should.
iPhone. Yeah, like and subscribe.
Smash that notification button.
Oh, yeah.
Suplex
iOS 12,
your-
you have to...
Yeah, ring that bell,
You
baby.
don't have to. I don't have any notifications turned on.
Oh, well,
Well, if you want.
Sometimes you want
notifications.
I mean, I turn my
Notifications if there's a new
notifications on
episode.
exclusively for Radio Podcast.
Okay, good.
Yeah, there you go.
It's good
Like,
for
don't
you
turn it
to
on for
know.
any other podcast, just the Radio Podcast.
Yeah.
It's the only podcast.
We won't sell your notification to other people.
Don't.
That's an excellent privacy policy.
It is.
I approve of that.
We won't notify you of other people's stuff. Only our stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Guaranteed.
We're not going to send you them ads.
I accidentally just
Today's
hit my
podcast
mic.
brought to you by Real Street
No.
Performance.
Cut that
out. Yeah, I don't think that's actually true. I don't think Gio's going to approve of that. Like,
Yeah, probably not.
Is that
yeah.
Geo?
Yeah, it's a guy.
Like Geo
Who's the
Corsi?
guy? He owns Real Street.
Is it
Yeah.
Geo Corsi?
No, it's not.
No, it's not that guy. Some other guy. He likes Supras.
Today's podcast brought to you by the mountains.
Which
no,
ones?
It's also not that.
All of them.
The big horns.
Collectively, the mountains are like, you know, we like racing. Let's get these guys to talk about it. We'll fund them through scenic views. And I was like,
That's just good
okay.
for your soul.
It
I
is.
don't care for this.
It's just good for your soul. It just keeps you alive.
I
That's the
don't-
only thing keeping Jeff a part of this.
I don't like the thought of mountains having money.
No,
They do, though. They
they're
have
funding
gold.
me with scenic views.
I don't.
They're not actually.
Sometimes the mountains have gold.
That's not wrong.
No, it's the rivers that have the gold.
No, the
Sometimes
rivers
they're
end up with
inside
the
of the
gold
mountain.
because they cut their way through the mountains.
See, so mountains have money.
Those goddamn rivers stole it from those mountains.
I've never seen anybody pan whatever it's called.
Panning for gold.
Panning for gold.
I've never seen anybody pan a mountain. They pan the streams.
No, they blow the mountain up.
They cut holes in them. They dig mines in the mountains for gold.
That's where the dwarves are. They make the axes.
Have you never seen Lord of the Rings that you were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
They had a whole mountain full of gold.
They had a mine.
They
where Khazad
poured it on a
is.
dragon.
That's not Lord of the Rings. That's the bullshit they made afterwards.
The
That's
Hobbit,
still the Lord of the Rings.
No, it's not, buddy.
part of the Lord of the
And
Rings.
it's bad. It's bad, and
They
it's
took
not
one
part
book
of
and
it.
they
liked
made
it.
4 movies.
Hey, they made 2 books into 3 movies. No, you're right. It was 4 movies.
That was 2 books.
That was 3
That
movies.
was one.
They
no.
included a bunch of bullshit from the Cimmerillion.
That's hardly a book.
I don't. What is your definition of book?
That's in.
It's a bunch
that's
of pages
bound.
taped
That's
together.
a book, like an encyclopedia is a book.
Encyclopedias are books.
Right, but when you say book, I feel like most people are going to think you mean story.
Oh
A
no, I would have
novel.
said novel if I meant that.
Okay.
There's only 3 of those movies, aren't there?
No,
No,
I think
there's
there's
4.
4 Hobbit movies and then 3
I didn't
Lord
know
of the
that
Rings
I'm
movies.
missing one.
There's the first one, the second one, the third one, and the third one part 2.
Yeah.
They're doing that dumb bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fucking Harry Potter out here ruining films. Because I think they're the first ones that did that shit. Now it happens all the goddamn time.
I think probably the first movie that was ever like, what if we didn't finish the story here and we had a sequel? Was the one.
Oh, God, like the fucking Avengers did to me.
Yeah.
That horse shit.
I don't know. Blame Star Wars.
Star Wars, not the first movie to have a sequel, I'm going to say.
Blame Indiana Jones.
Still don't think that's
that came after Star Wars.
We have to shut this down.
All right.
I shut it down like a while ago, and then we went on this rant.
Adios.
When did
because we're in Mexico next week. The Dia de los Muertos is soon, right?
Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Red Bull normally has like skull.
Oh yeah, Red Bull's got sick ass shit for next week.
What if they have skeleton race suits?
Oh, that'd be so fucking badass. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. I like to imagine that, like, at one point during today's race, like, the fans just, as they saw Vettel's car going by, they just hear, like, fuck!